cross drill sheets. When you receive a cross drill sheet, which is in the downloadable PDF section, it will look about like this. And what you're doing is you will start here and you will begin, you can use lines, you can use a letter. For whatever reason, I often like to use the letter N, but it could just be a line, especially when you're starting out. So you're starting out here, and you make a line there, and then you go here, make another line here, make another line, and then you finish out this line. And then you go to the next line. And you do that all the way to the bottom of the page. And then when you're finished with that, you turn the page 90 degrees, and then you do the same thing this way, all of the way down to the bottom. When you finish, your page will look something like this. This is mine, and this is included in the PDF so that you'll have it as an example. So you can either do it on the sheet that is provided to you, or what I often do is place a blank sheet of paper on top of it and then create my grid, my matrix on top of that. That way I'm not having to reprint the grid multiple times because I've placed whatever drill on it. So here you can see I started with an N, and then I made ends all the way across. And so what you're doing is you're stopping at these dots, and that's where you make your letter, whatever letter you choose. And you'll see at the end you have this beautiful grid. But what you're doing is you're training yourself to space in the way your Spencerian letters would be spaced. It's a little bit more exaggerated than what you'll see in your lettering, and you can see that in comparison to what I've written up here at the top. But it trains your hand to make that movement and create that spacing that you want in Spencerian lettering. The true spacing that you want to see, if you're just writing and not necessarily doing drills, is at the top. And that's why I've included that there as well. But then I turn the paper after I created the lines all of the way to the bottom of the page. Turn the paper, and then you do the same thing. Here you can see I've included, sometimes I get bored and I'll switch up the lettering. Here I switched to an A. Here I switched to an H. On this row, it looks like it was an N that I then went back and circled. So I'll do that sometimes just to switch things up. But those are the cross drills. I would recommend doing a sheet of these every day. And the more you do it, the easier this spacing becomes and feels natural. We also have geometric drills. The geometric drills are important because they train your mind and your eye and your hand to create proper spacing within your flourishes and loops, but they're really important for when you eventually get to offhand flourishing, but also within, say, twisters with the ornate capitals, which is why I wanted to introduce this here. So the template that you have for the downloadable PDF will look something like this. And it just looks like various geometric shapes. But what you're doing is within these shapes, you will start to create spirals that look like a tornado, to be honest. But the purpose of that is to help you understand where to cross and how far apart to cross. When you're finished, it will look like this. So the object of the game is to create spirals, but you want each line to be parallel to the one before it. And when you're crossing into another one, you want it to cross at a near perpendicular crossing. And we'll talk about that more so in the videos. But in the videos for the actual letters. It'll be easier to show you with the letters. But I would recommend doing at least a half a sheet of these a day. As you become more proficient, you could honestly do a few of these and feel pretty good to start then lettering and writing whatever you're working on. But as you can see, especially in this one, it's easier to see. This helps you understand the spacing that you need for crossing, such that when you're crossing between lines, it doesn't look like complete spaghetti. Because the object of the game is to have your lines look parallel. So this one is relatively parallel to this one, to this one, to this one. So it just helps to train your eye and your mind. So those are the drills. Don't feel too intimidated by them. If you've not done them before, it's okay. To be honest with you, it can take a little while to feel comfortable with them. If your first few sheets don't look the way that you like, it's okay. Just keep at it. And after a while, you will get a feel for staying parallel, for trying to cross at a near perpendicular angle into the next curve or line, and you'll become more comfortable with it with time. So those are the drills.